Hey guys, it's GHP, and today we're going to be reviewing the newest card. It is the hero of the, what month is it? May. Yeah, the hero they're releasing this month, so it's a new promo card you'll be able to get in the next 4 days. But I'm going to take one shot at this, and one shot away on how to say this name. Apparently it's German. I know nothing about German, so let's try it. Svetya, Orene of Kosul? I tried, okay? If someone actually wants to tell me after how to say it, it'd be cool, because I'm curious, because this is an interesting card. And the name is just weird. So, what do we got here? We have a 4-mana 4/4, in just 1 Justice, 1 Primal. Okay, that's not a great rate in this game. Normally, a 4-drop needs to be at least a 4/5, unless the text is really good. So, that's a standard we need to keep by. Because it doesn't have keywords, as we can see. It's easy to cast, which is really nice. Huru only had 1 4-drop, really, and that's Shelter Wing Rider, which is very, very good. But it kind of wanted another one to fill out its curve a little more, so it didn't have to go to this, like, Nostrix or... Yeah, when you're playing, like, Huru aggro / mid-range, it doesn't want to go to Nostrix all the time. It wants to stop at 4 or 5, and this helps do it. So what do we got here? We have... First, you can pay 8, so not an ultimate, to exhaust this, to draw all units from the top 4 cards of your deck. Discard the rest. So, it's a 4-mana 4/4, that's a mana dump. That's pretty good. So it comes down, it's a fine body, and then later on you can dump your mana into it to draw cards, so you can stop yourself from flooding out a bit. One thing to note, because you're in Huru, and that means you're in Justice, that means you can play Privilege at the rank, so this could also get you some extra value. So far, so good. This effect is relevant, I think, but spoiler here, guys, for those of you who played Hearthstone, you know why this card's very good. Summon. The enemy player can't play spells or weapons until your next turn. This is an incredibly powerful effect. This is Lotheb, and anyone who's played Hearthstone, you know how good Lotheb is. Lotheb was amazing in Hearthstone. Basically, it was 5 out of 5 high that your opponent basically couldn't cast spells next turn. Spells cost 5 more. This card is powerful. To note, it also randomly hits like Runehammer for the turn, which is nice. So what this card is, it's kind of like a stand together for 1 turn, where you get to have a you cannot play Harsh Rule. You could also go, okay, play this, you cannot Runehammer, and this could really, like, let's say against Armory, all they can really do is just play a power. Like, that's just one example, and that's probably one of the bigger scenarios that this could come up against, but it's a problem for them. The matchups that you want stuff like this is against the Harsh Rule decks. There is one thing to note very quickly, and that's the fact that there's a card that should not exist in Eternal right now called Cobalt Waystone. And Cobalt Waystone giving you face ages so freely is a problem, because this summon effect gets blocked by face ages. This has been confirmed by Skylatch, and it's an interaction that I'm not a big fan of. I understand why it works compared to other cards, but I hate it. And the decks that have Harsh Rule, a lot of them that aren't like Removal Pile, are playing both Primal and Justice, so they have access to Waystone, and Waystone makes you look really dumb. I think this card is powerful, the effect is very, very good, and the first deck that comes to my mind is TJP Midrange, the version that was only going to 4-drops, and what it did is played Copper Hall Elite, and I think this card is just better than Copper Hall Elite. So they both do the same thing, they both kind of delay Harsh Rule and things like that. But this one's a mana dump late game. And this also hits like Runehammer, which is really nice for the turn. So I think it just slots in there. I think it's just better than Elite, so I think that deck just got an upgrade. There's another deck that I think got a significant upgrade. I'm sure no one's going to be surprised when I say, look, this card costs 4 or less. It can be Haunting Screamed. I think this card could see play in a Scream deck, specifically JPS, which was an okay Scream deck. That deck really died when Vera died, because that was a deck that tried to go over the top of you with Vera. It was a really weird version of the deck, but it was awesome. Now we actually have another Screamable 4-drop in those cores, because Torgov wasn't cutting it. you didn't have access to Devour / Madness, you just don't want to be casting those cards in that deck because you don't have Combust, you don't have Quarry, so it's a little worse. But I've made a list here, so we're just going to pull it up. This has not had any testing. I made this just a couple minutes ago while prepping for the video. Imagine there's 4 of this card, obviously, but this was just a sample list I came up with. I haven't done the power for a JPS Scream deck. So the Justice is Stone Powder Alchemist, the new card that I can't say, and Slay. Those are all really good cards, and I think like the core of this deck anyways is always going to be Feln, unless something changes significantly. So this is the Screaming Kosul Brigade, I guess. I'm gonna hope Kosul is how you say that. I think this list is actually solid and could see some play depending on the metagame. Now, the question of it being better than other Screams, that's a different conversation for a different video. But I think this is like a sample list that this deck could, or this card could definitely see play in. And I think this list is generally pretty strong. I'd probably change some removal and stuff, but like this is just a basic idea of what the deck would look like right now. So yeah, I think this card is quite good. I think it's going to see a lot of play. Well, not a lot. I think it will see enough play that you will lose games to it. One thing that to note is this is going to create some awkward play patterns. For example, your opponent is holding up Wisdom of the Elders till the end of your turn. Okay, nice Wisdom. Now you can no longer cast it. I do not know if you get a chance to respond to the summon effect. I'm guessing you can, but I'm not sure. So if so, you could Wisdom in response, I guess. So maybe that situation doesn't matter. So that depends on how that works. I can't figure that out right now. I'm too tired. So yeah, if it works how people want it to, where you can't respond, that'd be great. I think this card is pretty good. I think it's going to see play. I think it also helps like just a Huru mid-range deck, so not just TJP. And I think this card is going to see a fair bit of play. And I think there are also going to be games where people play like 2 of these and just scoop, because some decks just can't beat it sometimes. So thank you guys for tuning in. My general verdict on this card is it's going to see some play, just not a ton, but it will be good. It's one of the best promos we've had, maybe the best. But until next time, guys, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next time.